the Global Fight League, aka the GFL, a new MMA organization, a new player in the game that somehow signed everyone on this planet. Let me tell you more about it, plus my opinion in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum to everyone.
As you guys can see, the new setup is nearly done and making off video is still to come. Small little details are still going to change, but mostly that's how it looks now with more faces and everything. Hope you enjoy it, but stay tuned for the making of. Anyways, the Global Fight League, right? It just emerged to the scene out of nowhere because a couple of years ago, the owner or the CEO was on Ariel Helwani's show and he said it's gonna launch in 2023, I believe. And then there was just complete silence and now it emerged again and now they set a date. April 2025 is when the season should start. It is a season format again, which is something that never worked in MMA. No one that ever tried a season format ever had success. You see with the PFL, it just doesn't really work. It's not really interesting. They do it a little bit differently though with teams. I have to look at my phone real quick. They have the team Los Angeles, team New York, team Sao Paulo, team Miami, team Dubai, team London, right? So they have different teams with like, what I find cool is they have like a head coach that is assigned to it. Like New York has Ray Longo as a head coach and a manager as well for every team. And there's 2 fighters per weight class for every team, and they then compete against other teams. I'm not 100% from the top of my head sure how it really works. I think if you lose by finish, you get 0 points. If you win by finish, you get like 4 points, whatever. Like, there's a system behind it. You can find it out if you Google it, but that isn't really important right now. But yeah, it's a season format which can be exciting, but in MMA it just never really worked until now. But hey, I am curious to find out how this one will be. And the thing is, they signed a lot of big names.
I know you guys like big stuff, like big steak, and I like big checks.
They signed a lot of names that get you excited, like Despain or whatever his name is, like Sage Norcutt. Even Kevin Lee, those are guys that are still kind of exciting and that are big names to sign. But the problem is,
here's the thing, guys,
that they also sign people like Fabricio Werdum. They sign people like Frank Mir, who are like 700,000 years old. They fought when the UFC was still on black and white TV, you know what I mean? And those are the things that raise concerns to me because I think to myself like, look, the Global Fight League tries to be that fight organization that looks after the fighters like no one else, right? With their revenue split, which is a pretty big thing, so they're paying those fighters quite a lot of money, from what I've heard, plus 50% of the revenue that gets generated with each event goes to the fighters. Probably those 50% go into like a pool and just the pool gets split up between the fighters, which is very cool. I love it. I'm just, first of all, on the business side, I'm not really sure if it's gonna work because the UFC has a reason why they do business like they do and why they are the only one that keeps striving, keeps getting bigger and keeps being on the market because all the other guys that try to increase fighter pay or whatever, even though PFL doesn't pay more than the UFC for your average Joe, just that you know that, but they all are broke. They're all broke.
I have tax to pay and I have a live to live.
So I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know who the investors are. I don't know how much money is behind it, but I love the idea. But what gets me concerned is, yeah, you try to look after the fighters with your revenue split and whatever. You try to act like you're so much for the fighters, but then you sign 55,000-year-old people like Werdum, like Frank Mir, who like one punch gives them immediate CTE and it's just...
All right, there's CT.
It's gonna be a hard watch to see them fight. I don't want to see those people fight. And I really wonder if they're gonna have, I don't think they published it, if they're gonna have any drug testing. I think if they are sanctioned by athletic commissions, they have to have some kind of drug testing probably, but I don't know about that. This will be interesting. And yeah, they signed quite a few big names. The interesting thing is, they posted thousands of fighters that they signed, but the problem was, or the thing was, they had a draft. They had a draft. You Americans know this from NFL and stuff. I had no idea how this works. And all those fighters, I think they signed like 400 fighters. They were all in a pool. And just because they got signed with a nice little Instagram post doesn't mean that they really get a fight contract. Because from those 400 people, all the coaches or managers from each, as I said, each city has a coach and a manager. Those guys could, from the pool of all the fighters, they chose their fighters that they want for those weight classes. Like for example, New York, Ray Longo chose Chris Weidman for middleweight. He chose, I think, Dillon Danis for welterweight. I have no idea how Dillon Danis got there, and I have no idea if he will ever actually show up to fight, but this should be very interesting. You know what I mean? They could pick and choose, and now the teams are complete. And of course, a lot of fighters that got signed now are not really signed.
That's f***ing illegal.
They were just signed to be in that pool, but they will not get any fights because they did not get drafted. Just that you understand that. That's at least from how I understand it, how it has been published, right? So that's that thing. Now, as I said, I like the concept of it. I like when there's new people that come up with new ideas, that try something new, that give the fighters opportunities, that give the fighters money. I'm all for it, and I'm really looking forward to that event. I'm just a little bit skeptical if it's gonna work. They're still very unprofessional with a couple of things. Like there were a lot of errors during the draft with like stuff that they said and statistics and whatnot that were wrong. Like when they signed Tony Ferguson, they said Tony Ferguson is 23-7, even though Tony Ferguson lost 8 fights in a row right now and he lost before. Like, how can you sign a fighter, make an Instagram post and have the wrong record in there? Like, it blows my mind that stuff like that happens. You know what I mean? It's not like you double check stuff like that, but yeah, there's just a lot of little things that make me be a little bit skeptical how professional, how well oiled this machine really is, but it is all very new. I'm really interested to find out how this whole thing is gonna play out, if the events will continue to be there, because the first event will happen in April. I think the location is not yet disclosed. I think it will be in one of those cities, like one event's gonna be in New York, one event in Los Angeles, one event in Miami, one event in Dubai. You heard the names. I really hope that all those events will happen. I'm a little bit skeptical that after 2-3 events they realize, hey, this concept doesn't work, we don't have the money anymore. We're not gonna pull off any other events, but I hope, of course, that everyone gets paid, that we will see phenomenal fights. I'm not happy to see those old guys fight, but hey, there's a lot of cool names, a lot of cool fights that are potentially happening that I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, I wish all the people involved the best of luck. I really hope that this thing works out in a way that we have a second cool organization. They will never come close to the UFC. Don't even start to think stuff like that. They're using the old washed up people of the UFC.
You look like a 50-year-old retired skateboarder.
There should be a lot of fun fights coming our way that we fight fans can enjoy. What is your opinion of the GFL? Write in the comments, you guys. Did I miss something? Do you need to know some other information? Write in the comments, you guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Would appreciate that. Check out my merch, bloodshop.net. You would support me a lot if you would check it out. So check it out. We're about free shipping as well with the code FREE. Stay bloody, you guys. And until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.